would be our life if there were no constraints? For example, if you want to animate eyes, what will you do if there were no constraints? So first of all, you will rotate this eye. Let's delete the constraints. First of all, if there were no constraints, you will rotate this eye to look somewhere. Let's say you want the eye to look here. Then you will have to rotate this eye. It's not gonna be perfect if you just copy this from here. Now it could be perfect, but it is pretty tedious. You can see that we have to perform same movement on both the eyes. But what if we had constraints? Actually, we have constraints. Now let's see how they work. Okay, you just have to grab this bone and move it somewhere where you want the eye to look. There you go. Now you can see both the eyes are looking towards that bone. So it is much easier with constraints, and constraints are not limited to eyes. There are more constraints you can see. We are not going to look at all of them today, but we are going to look at all the important ones today. So let's get into it. First of all, let's start with the most used one and the simplest one. That would be copy rotation constraint. Let me delete everything first. Now let's add a bone, single bone. It will also add an armature, bring it to center. Now let me duplicate it. So we have two bones now. Let me go to pose mode because we don't have any option for adding bone constraints in edit mode. It is only available in pose mode. So we are in pose mode now. Now if I select this bone, add bone constraint, and then choose copy rotation, you can see that we have some options now. First is the target. I will choose this armature only. You can have a different armature too. Now the bone, we are going to choose this bone. Now if you try to rotate this bone, the first one, you will see the other bone which has constraint will also rotate with it. It will follow every rotation. It will not follow location or scale because the constraint is copy rotation obviously. But you get the idea. If you rotate the bone, it will rotate also. Now let's look at different options provided in the copy rotation constraint. First is target and second is bone. I don't think so that I need to explain them because we have already looked into them. You can rewind the video if you want to see what they do. So the third is order. So order defines that which rotation will be applied first. If you choose the first option, then X will be applied first, then Y will be second, and then Z. If you're a beginner, you are probably confused at what difference does it make. Well, the results of all of them will be different. Well, being a beginner, we will not look into order much because it would be too difficult for you guys for now. But I will create a separate video, don't worry. I will explain everything that how it works. But for now, let's move to the next option. The next option is axis. Axis is really simple. It just tells the blender which rotation axis to copy. If you enable the X only, it will copy only the X one. If you see that we are rotating our bone in all the axes, we are rotating in the Z direction. It doesn't follow because we have only enabled the X. If you rotate in the X, it will copy because X is enabled. If you rotate in the Y direction, it will not because Y is disabled. Same goes with the other one. If you enable X and Y, it will copy X and Y, not the Z. If you enable only Z, then only Z will be copied, nothing else. I think you get the point. Now let's take a look at invert option. Well, it is really simple. It does exactly what it says. Let me show you. For example, let me disable all my other axes and enable only the X one. If I enable X in invert, you will see that bone starts to point opposite to the bone it is copying rotation from. In our case, this bone. Now when we try to rotate this bone in X axis, the constraint will invert the rotation and apply to this bone. So let's see. Rotate in X axis. You can see that it is inverting the rotation and applying to this bone. But because we have told it to apply only inversion to X direction or X axis, it will not do to the others. Oh, let me enable it first. Let's enable the Y and let's see. You can see that Y direction is applied as it is. But if we invert it, then it will invert first and then apply. Same goes with the Z. Now let's look at the next option called mix. Well, mix has a default option called replace. Replace will ignore every rotation before the constraint. So if I disable it and then apply 45 degrees of x-axis rotation, then enable my constraint, you will see that it has same position. Basically replace will replace, it will ignore every rotation. But if I change it to add, then add does exactly what it says. It adds onto the previous rotation. Now we have some other options. First is before original. Before original applies the rotation of this pawn first and then applies the rotation of original pawn. After original does exactly the opposite. It applies the original rotation first and then this pawn's rotation. Now offset. Offset stores the original rotation as offset and then adds this pawn's rotation to it. Now let's look at target and owner. You can tell the constraint that which space to use for target and which space to use for owner. If you don't know about spaces, they deserve their own video. I don't think so that I can explain them all in this 5-minute duration. But just remember, if you're a beginner and you don't know about spaces, that you can change spaces from here. Let me give you an hint what these spaces actually are. Well, they are calculated from the origin. So the world space will be calculated from where every axis join. The 0, 0 position of the world will be right here. If I add an object, let me bring the cursor to center of world origin. If I add an object, now this object is at the origin of world. So its position will be 0, 0. So the position of this object will be 0, 0 in the world space. Now let's change the position of this cube. Let me place it right here. The position changes in world space. Let me add another cube and place it right here. The position of this cube and this cube is different in world space. If I go into edit mode, the position of this vertex and this vertex is different in world space. But let me blow your mind. The position of this vertex in local space is as same as this vertex. Well, how? Because they have different local spaces. The local space is related to object. So the difference between this origin and this vertex is as same as the difference between this origin and this vertex. But the difference between this origin and this vertex is different from this vertex and this origin. I hope you get the point. Now let's look at our last option, influence. Influence basically controls how much influence will the constraint have over your bone. So if we rotate this bone and then change the influence, you can see that it changes how much control the constraint have over the bone. Now similar to copy rotation, we have something called copy location and copy scale. We have also copy transforms. Here you can see we have copy transforms. Well, copy transforms will copy rotation, location and scale, everything. So if we remove these and choose our bone as copy transforms, then you will see that our bone disappears. Well, it has not disappeared. It has copied everything. If we choose add or after original, you can see that it appears. Basically, before choosing this option, the bone snapped to the exact place this bone was. Now you will see that if we choose to scale up the bone, this bone will scale up with it. If we choose scale down, this will scale down. If we rotate, it will rotate. If we change the position, it will also change the position. So that's how copy transforms work. Copy location, it basically just copies the location. You can see it copies the location, whereas copy scale copies the scale. Now let's look at an really interesting constraint and a really important one that we will use in the eyes. Let's go to edit mode. Let me rotate this bone in x direction, x axis, sorry. Let's add another bone right here and let me rotate this bone. Let's go to pose mode. Now select this bone and add a constraint called tam track. Choose this bone as target, armature as target, this bone as target. And now if I rotate this bone, you will see the tail of this bone will follow this bone. The tail of this bone will follow our bone. It is really interesting and it is really important when we are creating eyes. We just parent this bone to our eye and then eye tracks this target. Now let's look at some options in tam track. First is head and tail. If we try to change it, nothing happens. Well, to understand it, we need to go into edit mode, rotate this bone 90 degrees. Let's scale it to something about here. Now let's go to pose mode again. You will see that our bone is pointing towards the tail of the spoon. If we change it to head, then it will point to the head. If we change it to point 0.5, then it will point in the middle. So this was simple. The other options are if you want the bone to track x, y, z, minus x, minus y, and minus z. The last is influence. Influence is basically how much control you want the constraint to have. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something, and in the next video we will add ice to our donut.